this person wants to do that and this person wants to do that and I don't want to do I don't want to, like, I can't deal with that. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Francine, and here on this channel, it's all about travel and lifestyle. And I'm doing a series on solo traveling, and today we are talking about the pros and cons of solo travel. In a previous video, I touched on tips for combating loneliness when traveling solo. Solo traveling has its ups and downs, and it's important to weigh those before deciding if it's right for you. Solo traveling isn't for everyone. I've spoken to people who say they will never solo travel, whether they have a fear of being in an airplane by themselves, or if they have a fear of just being alone, they're afraid because anything is possible, or they just cannot be alone. Some people just don't know how to navigate being by themselves. They have to have people around them, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're all different, we're all unique in our own ways. But for a person like that loves to solo travel, there are ups and downs to that, and a lot of people don't really talk about that. I don't really see a lot of that being talked about here online. So I'm going to create the content that I wish I could see, hoping that someone will stumble upon it and will find it edifying and valuable. Pros. I'm going to go through the pros first. Of course, we're going to talk about the good first, and then we'll touch on the cons. Okay, first thing, freedom of independence. Freedom of independence. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, get a little bit personal with y'all, because I've been on a solo trip before, but I've been on trips with people. When it comes to traveling in a group setting, I'm the type of person that I believe in itineraries. Even solo traveling, I believe there should be an itinerary, especially if you know where you're going, what you're doing. I feel like you should have some kind of plan. I find when it comes to group travel, there is more of a need for an itinerary, have a plan, and there are so many different people that want to do so many different things, and you got to cater to those people. And that's why sometimes you see there are conflicts on group trips, because this person wants to do that and this person wants to do that, and I don't want to do I don't want to, like, I can't deal with that. And I can do group trips, and mind you, I've gone on trips with like my sister, with my daughter, and I enjoyed all of them, and I would travel with them again. The freedom of independence is so precious to me. You have the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, with whomever you want, however you want to. And nobody can tell you otherwise. That is a beautiful thing. That I'm thinking everybody desires to have in life, period. Do what you want, when you want, how you want, with who you want, whenever you want. Simple. That is a flex. You don't have to compromise with anyone else, and you don't have to have any conflict with anyone else, because you're just doing you. Personal growth is the next pro. Solo traveling pushes you out of your comfort zone. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Solo traveling allows you to learn some things about yourself that you never knew even existed. That's why I really do love solo traveling. You have to be so creative. You have to entertain yourself. You have to figure things out. Like me in my last trip, I had to figure out that, listen, it's better to rent a car than pay for taxi, because taxi 2 ways to go somewhere was $50 US. Renting a vehicle for a whole week, a whole 5-6 days, $100. Do the math. You learn to rely on yourself, and that helps you to become more confident and trust yourself even more. When I made the decision, I had to take the vehicle. I drove to Phillipsburg by myself. I had to find my way through the market. Then I had to go through so much, read my map. You literally have only yourself to depend on, and that is no easy feat sometimes, because if you disappoint yourself, like, who you gotta blame? You understand what I mean? So it allows you to learn so much about yourself, but at the same time, you build self-confidence. Next is meeting new people. Traveling solo somehow makes you more approachable. I don't know what it is, because maybe you look a little bit more timid, or a little bit more, you know, yearning for like a friend. because again, there is this sense of I am by myself, and being able to connect with people is just such a great feeling because we are created to be sociable. Because you're more approachable, it gives you the opportunity to meet more people and make new friends. And for me, every trip I've been on, I've met people. Traveling is the best time to make new friends or meet people because everybody's in a good mood because they're on vacation. But even so, like when I meet locals, sometimes they're in a good mood. I met a friend on the ferry on the way to St. Bart's. I met friends on the way to Anguilla. I remember the day I needed to get a photo taken of me with the airplane flying over my head. I wish I had a video of it as well too, but that's cool. I went up to someone and I was like, could you take a photo for me please? And I gave him my camera and he took the photo for me. He took a couple photos and we ended up talking, having a conversation. He was on his lunch break and he was ever so nice to do that. And yeah, we still converse to this day. So it does make you more approachable and it helps you to meet friends and meet new people and connect with people, network, you know, because you never know who you might meet on a trip. You never know who you might meet on a trip. So always keep an open mind, always be friendly, and always have a smile on your face because people will come up to you for sure, for sure. Those are 3 pros to traveling solo. Now let's talk about the cons, and I have 3 cons. First one I'll touch on is loneliness. And as mentioned earlier in my previous video, loneliness can be a downside. However, it can be managed with the right mindset and actions. There are things you can do, check my previous video, to combat the loneliness that you're feeling. So I'm not even gonna go too much on that, okay? The next con is safety concerns. Traveling alone can sometimes feel less safe, but it can be mitigated with careful planning and awareness. So before you book your trip, I would suggest to do your research about where you're going. What is the crime rate like? Check TikTok and see videos of content creators who travel solo all the time, female travelers. Where do they suggest the safest places are to travel? Where have they traveled to where they feel the safest? There's a website I'll provide here. You can actually see what the crime rate is, if there are any recent crimes that are happening. Also, you got to check if there's hurricane, if you're traveling hurricane season, what the weather is like. Because when I was going to St. Martin, my trip got canceled. The date I was supposed to leave originally, it was canceled because of Hurricane Ernesto. So that's also something that you have to factor in. But there are ways for you to find out if it's safe. Do your research, watch YouTube videos, binge watch them, watch TikTok, watch Instagram videos. But TikTok, there are a lot of videos where people share. If you want to go somewhere, just look that up in the search bar and see how people felt while they traveled. Especially as a Black solo female traveler, the experience can be different for us. Let's just be honest, let's call a spade a spade. It can be different for us. So when I do travel, I have some gadgets that I have on my person all the time, just so I can feel a little bit more secure. If there was an emergency, you know, I could press that button and call for help or ward off anyone who's trying to threaten me. You know, when people come up to you and ask if you're traveling solo, I'm not telling you to lie because I'm a woman of God. I don't lie, you know. So it's kind of hard for me to kind of say, sometimes I'm depending on the person that's asking, because you can go with your gut and you can say, is this person genuine? Do I feel uncomfortable around this person? Why are they asking me? You can be like, yeah, I'm traveling solo, and they want to ask where you're staying. Like, don't give too much information. If you're going to say, yes, you're traveling solo, and you feel okay in saying that in that moment, and they're asking you where you're staying, don't even give them a precise location. Give them somewhere farther than where you're staying. Everyone wants to take your WhatsApp number, okay? I learned this hard way. Don't give everybody your WhatsApp number, and don't take theirs, because once they have your number, if you don't have a separate number for WhatsApp than your regular number, you're gonna have random weirdos messaging you. Trust me, I've had this issue. People fall in love with me whenever I travel. Men fall in love with me and they want to marry me, and I'm like, you spoke to me for 10 minutes and you fell in love. I know I'm charming. I know. I know that it's probably easy to fall in love with me, but man, let's be honest. You know, so you got to be very vigilant. There are certain things, like if you stay at an Airbnb or a hotel. I have all this stuff in my Amazon storefront. I'm gonna link down below. I'm gonna show you all the stuff that I use. I also have a video on this page that I talked about where I shared my must-have essentials for travels for safety and security. I'm gonna link it here too. So there are things that you can actually buy and take with you on your trip that can add an extra layer of security where you feel safe. It'll give you peace of mind. And lastly, I'll talk about expenses. Solo traveling can be a bit more expensive because you don't have someone else to share the cost with, especially for accommodations and transportation. Let's say you're traveling to a resort. If you choose single occupancy, it's far more expensive than if it was a double occupancy. It's double the price, which is weird. Someone explained to me why that is. I don't understand. I need to understand why. I think that's why a lot of people don't travel. It's more expensive to travel by yourself. You don't have anyone to share expense for food or transportation. You're absorbing all that cost on your own. I felt it when I went to St. Martin because they don't have Uber and taxi is the only mode of transportation. So my first 4 days there, I was just giving money for taxi all the time. And I was just like, this is like almost half my budget. Canadian dollar does not carry any sort of value anywhere outside of Canada. Let's just be honest. Not even Jamaica wants Canadian dollars, okay? So if I'm converting my Canadian dollar to euros or to US, if you know, you know. So you just gotta think and have a budget in mind and plan out, like have an itinerary and plan out your days. And sometimes you have to compromise. Maybe I won't eat out for these couple days. Maybe I won't do this excursion. Look and see what it is that you really, really want to do and then put your money into that. I prefer experience. Yes, I love food or whatever, but I prefer experience for me. And so I'll spend money on that, right? So it all comes down to what you prefer. So I think that would be wise for you to consider. So that's all I have on the topic of pros and cons to solo traveling. If I missed anything and you have any pros or cons, please leave it in the comment section below. Again, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do join the family. Do like this video as it helps me with the algorithm. And do share this video if you care. Until next time, take care, be safe, and happy traveling. Bye.